Now it's time to complete our second exercise in Word. We're going to complete the exercise called Learn to Set the Page Up for a Document. So if you're at the beginning of Jasperactive and you've already signed in, it's under Lessons, the first chapter called Managing Documents. Click Start, and it's the second exercise under Basic Exercises. Learn to set the page up for a document. Click to start. And in our introduction, it says, in this exercise, you will change some of the document settings for a document as well as insert a footer. You will also add alt text to an image. So those are the three things we're going to be doing. Now this exercise has two questions, so it'll look a little bit different than the first. Click the blue start button and give the page a moment to load. A new document will be loaded onto your screen automatically. All right, our first task on the right-hand side on the Jasperactive instruction panel, you'll notice it says question 1 out of 2. So our first question is to insert a footer. A footer is a little note that is at the bottom of a page. It can be a page number, it can be a date, it can be custom text. There's lots of different options, so we're going to do that first. So scroll down a little bit until you see these little dashes on the left and right side of the page just above the green highlighted text. These little dashes represent the bottom of a page and the start of a new page. And these little tabs represent our footers and our headers. So just like it sounds, the footer is at the foot of the page or the bottom of the page. The header is at the head or the top of a page. All right, so we're going to point at the tab at the bottom that says footer. So at the bottom of page 1, the footer tab. All right, click on that. All right, and you'll notice at the bottom of the page, we now have a spot to put in a footer. Also at the top of the page, so you have some boxes available, but if you type here, that is your header. So we're going to look at the bottom. All right. And in the left box in the footer area, on the left-hand side, we're going to type in IT department. It's really important that your spelling is correct and your capitals are correct in order to get this exercise marked with a green check mark. So click in the left box of the footer area and type IT department. Or let's see if we can copy paste. Yep, copy paste works too. Although copy paste does make it bold. We don't want it to be bold. Better to just type it. All right, after you've typed IT department, capital I, capital T, space, capital D department, press the tab key. Or you can just click to get to the box on the right. Okay? Tab works, or then you can just click on the box on the right. And on this box on the right part of the footer, we're going to insert some page numbers. So let's go to the Insert tab. So in the top left, click on the Insert tab. Each of these tabs at the top give us different tools, and the Insert tab lets us put different items in. In this case, we're going to put in page numbers. So click on the Insert tab, and you're going to find page numbers. Here's page numbers. I'm going to scroll down in my directions a little bit so we can see specifically which one to add. We're going to click the option that shows the page number will be added on the bottom right. So we want to look for the page number that shows the page number added on the bottom right. Here it is. Here's the page number that will be added in the bottom right. We're going to click on it. And now in the bottom of our screen, we'll see that page numbers are added with the less than, hashtag greater than. All right, first step is done. Now you can click anywhere in your document to get out of the header and footer view. So I just clicked in the middle of the page. Now we're going to change another setting on the document. We're going to change the margins. Suppose you want to reduce the margins to increase the amount of text that will display on each line. So the margins are this area on the left and right and the top and bottom of each page. It's a space that no text or pictures will be added into. And you might want to change those sometimes so that you can add more text on each line. So to do this, we're going to go to the Layout tab because we're changing the layout. The layout is basically how the words and text and pictures go on the page. So the Layout tab has lots of tools. We're just going to look at the Margins tool. So find Margins on the left and choose Moderate. So the normal margins are 1 inch, top, bottom, left, and right. Moderate means the left and right are going to be slightly smaller. They're going to be 0.75 instead of 1 inch. So click on Margins and Moderate. And you'll notice the text expanded just a little bit and makes our pages a little shorter. Now let's go back to Margins and change it to Normal and see what happens. All right, so we're going to actually keep it on normal since this is the standard used for these documents, but that's where you go to change it in the future. So we're going to click Submit on question number 1 since question 1 is done. Just to review, we added a footer and we changed the margins. Now we're on question number 2, adding alt text to an image. So this document will be posted online on the company intranet. So as Tolano, that's our pretend company, Tolano, has a few employees with accessibility issues, you need to add information about the image so these employees know what this is in the document. So accessibility issues might be people with different disabilities or challenges, and so alt text is adding alternative text to describe items. So we're going to click the image in the Saving a File section. So on your page, find the section called Saving a File, and there's a picture. It's a picture of a folder, a save box. So click on that picture, and we're going to add alternative text or alt text. And this is just a description. So if somebody is using an accessibility feature like reading aloud, it will describe what this picture is. So a couple things on this task. We're going to read ahead a little bit before we go to it, because when we go to alt text, the instruction panel disappears for just a moment. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and read our directions. We're going to click on the image, and then we're going to use the Picture tab. We have a new tab called Picture that shows up when you click on a picture, and we're going to find the tool called Alt Text. So I'm not going to do it just yet because I'm going to finish reading these directions. When the Alt Text box pops up, there's a title field, and we're going to delete any existing text and then type Save as dialog box. Save as dialog box. And then there's a description field, and we're going to type image of the Save as dialog box. So there's 2 separate things. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this first one. Let's make our job a little easier. So click and drag Save as dialog box and press Control-C on your keyboard to copy it. So let's go take care of that first one. That's the title field. Then we'll come back to our directions for the description field. All right, here we go. So click on your picture, go to the Picture tab, and find the tool for Alt Text. When we click Alt Text, our direction panel will go away, but don't worry, we can get it back. In the title field, let's just paste what we copied a minute ago, which is Save as dialog box. So that's the title of this picture. So if anyone is using accessibility features to read this document to them, when it gets to this picture, it will say out loud that this is a Save as dialog box. But you might remember we have to add a title. We have to add a title and a description. So that took care of the title. So now let's delete everything in the description box. And we're going to return to our Jasperactive directions by clicking on the little hexagons in the upper right corner. And let's go copy what goes in the description box. So I'm going to copy the words on step 4 that say image of the Save as dialog box and press Control-C. And I'm going to click on underneath the hexagon tool. Will take us back to our alt text box. And now we can paste it in the description field. Image of the Save as dialog box. So we're adding that extra information. Now, before I X out of this box, I'm just going to return to the directions and make sure there's nothing else to do. On step 5, it says click the X to close the Format Picture task pane, that box that we were just in. So let's return to that one last time. We typed in our alternate text, and that was called the Format Picture pane. We're going to now close it. So I'm going to hit that X. And we have just completed question 2. So click the blue Submit button, and then click the blue Finish button. If you followed along and all the steps, then you should now have 2 green check marks, noting that you have passed this exercise. Go ahead and click the blue Finish button, and then click back to my lesson.